Without a doubt, my proudest moment in the military would be boot camp graduation day. As soon as you arrive in boot camp, you're counting down the days till graduation, and it's a day that feels like it's never going to come. Graduation day, I made it through 12 weeks of boot camp, which isn't easy, and that's the day I went from being a recruit to a United States Marine.
Proudest moment in the military was in 2008 when my Army Reserve Battalion was deployed to Baghdad in Iraq. And we had an area of responsibility named Sadr City, which is a densely populated part of the city where there was an active insurgency at the time and disruption of a lot of basic services. Everything from water and electricity to food and medicine to other services. And so we worked along with other military members as well as municipal officials and business leaders to ensure that people got those necessities in that area, that the efforts that we did collectively undoubtedly saved the lives of many people. And it's something which all of the soldiers in my unit and really everybody who's involved in that effort can be justifiably proud.
My final major submarine deployment was the most memorable. Left Groton, Connecticut, went north through the GI-UK gap under the polar ice cap. We surfaced over 20 times, one of which at the surface, I was topside and re-enlisted for my final re-enlistment. The flag behind me was flown at the North Pole for that re-enlistment ceremony. We went through the Bering Straits, which was ice-covered, and obviously we went through submerged. A very tenuous kind of transit that brought us into the Pacific Ocean. From there, we performed some mission work and then went down across the equator, through the Panama Canal, back up to Groton, Connecticut. So we basically circumnavigated North America.
Okay, so I guess my most proud moment when I was in the military has to be when I deployed. I deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Qatar, and my job was to assist the air component commanders in building up their resources for the upcoming surge in Afghanistan that we were having. This was back in 2010, and at the time I left, my daughter was 10 years old, and she had asked me, Mom, why do you have to go? And I said to her, well, I have to go because somebody else's mom wants to come home. So I am proud that I was able to take my turn at supporting something global and something bigger than myself.
One of the proudest moments in my military experience, not only the job that I did, I was actually part of Space Command. That was way before Space Force was ever created. But I had an opportunity to participate in the U.S. Air Force Base choir there at Eglin Air Force Base. We were a small group of members that would travel around. And at that time, during the late 80s, the POW MIA movement was very strong, still about recognizing POWs and MIA. And we were able to participate in a lot of different events as the Eglin Air Force Base choir to do that. And so that gave me a lot of honor, a lot of humbleness as well to those men and women that have been POWs or MIA. And it was just really proud moment for me personally in our group, which was called the Sounds of Freedom.
So my proudest military moment, one that comes to mind is earning Engineering Officer of the Watch certification on a frigate. And not to get into the details, I was a non-technical major in school. Where I came from, the adage was poli-sci and fly, which I took to heart. And I ended up poli-sci and on a ship. But regardless, I earned Engineering Officer of the Watch on a frigate and was able to serve throughout a deployment in that regard. And I am proud of that, coming from a non-technical background, being able to have some of the same chops as those that had a much more well-rounded science and engineering background.
While serving in the Air Force deployed to Iraq as a forward air controller, Attack P, I was controlling a drone and observing the video feed as I flew over a road. Using the information from the drone, I located an improvised explosive device emplaced in the roadway. I alerted a detachment of Army engineers. They actioned the site and removed a pressure plate and explosives from the location. Had a vehicle driven over that pressure plate, it would have killed the troops inside. I like to tell myself that I saved some lives that day.